Welcome to Tansson TV Plus, of course. I'm Brandon,
And I'm Mom.
and thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yep, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, and Mom, how are you doing today?
I am doing just fine, Brandon. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and Mom, what show are we speaking about here today? What are we doing?
We're going to talk about a game show today. We're going to talk about Hollywood Squares.
Yes, and we're very excited to speak with this. This iteration began in January 2025. I believe January 16th was the scheduled date.
Yes. Yep, are you ready for me to begin, Brandon?
Whenever you're ready.
Alrighty, sure will. Alrighty. This, as Brandon said, is a reiteration of a show that came on many years prior, and then but it's been come on and off for the last few years. Anyway, so Hollywood Squares involves really the scenario of tic tac toe, where we have contestants who are trying to figure out if the celebrities who are in the tic tac toe grid are actually giving a correct or incorrect answer. So contestants actually need to actually agree or disagree with the responses of the celebrities given by their host. This For this reiteration, the host is actually Nate Burleson, who is one of our co-anchors on CBS Mornings. And so let's talk about Nate as a host. Generally, right now, Nate as a host does not bother me. I think he's doing a nice job. He kind of keeps everyone in line. He's friendly with the contestants. He's friendly with the celebrities, and so I think he's doing a good job. All right, Brandon, what are your thoughts about the host?
Likewise, I think he's doing a good job sort of maintaining everything and sort of keeping the quorum of it. And I think that he's allowing for it to have sort of a loose environment, while also having fun with it.
Yep, same here. And we've got a variety of celebrities we've seen so far. I've seen 4 episodes, I believe 4 episodes so far. I will say this is a half-hour show, which differs from the hour show that came on years prior. And so I will say, as someone who watched some of the prior ones, I am happy it is a half hour. It seems to go much quicker. I like that you can get through more contestants and things like that. Brandon, I know is this the first time you've seen Hollywood Squares?
I am familiar with the format, but I do not remember Hollywood Squares.
All right. And so it is nice having the show being a half hour. So far, we've seen some contestants such as Drew Carey, RuPaul, Drew Barrymore, and Tiffany Haddish. And that's just to name a few that we've seen so far. Um, what I'm discovering is that I guess as I've gotten older, I'm not as aware of who some of these celebrities are. So I'm sorry, I'm telling my age a little bit, but and so I do have had to look up a couple of them as I've started watching them. Brandon, what are your for the celebrities who are there? Do you recognize them?
There were some that I recognize, or at least by sight. I may not know what exactly they do, but I at least have some sort of idea as to who they are. But I do know that Drew Barrymore, for instance, is also a co-executive producer.
Yeah, okay. Yes. And then one of the things that I'm finding interesting and something that we talked about a little bit are the questions that are being asked, and actually the responses to it. Because I kind of mentioned to you that some of these questions that are asked, I said, there is no way that these people know this answer, or there's no way that most people do not know these particular answers. And so I mentioned to you about whether or not the celebrities knew what some of these questions are previously. And we had a little discussion about that. And then we found there is a disclaimer on the show itself, and I'm going to read it directly so I'm not misquoted. And it says contestants are briefed that prior to taping, celebrities are informed of their questions, two possible answers, one correct and the other a bluff, and potential joke answers, and that the celebrities may discern correct answers during that process. The game for the contestant is determine whether the official answer given by the celebrity is the correct answer or is incorrect. And it's something that I suspected when I watched several versions previously. And so it was nice to see, and this disclaimer could have been on every version out there, and I just didn't realize it. Um, but it was nice to see that this is actually listed there, and that it's interesting to see that some of the celebrities are maybe choosing an answer that they know may not be correct, or they're, as I said, they're given a choice. They could be choosing the one they think is correct. And so So I think that's interesting to note that, for this particular show. And it's really up to the contestant to figure out whether or not they think the celebrity is given the right or wrong answer. Your thoughts, Brandon?
Yeah, it definitely was interesting. Yeah, when you had brought that up initially, and then we looked at the disclaimer and found out that it is indeed correct. And so it certainly, I think, changes a little bit of the perception of it, so to speak. I was wondering how some of the people were able to come up with such wacky answers, but I found it interesting that even the joke answers were scripted, so which I found a little interesting.
Yeah, that is really, really interesting. And so, but yeah, but overall, I will say that I have enjoyed the show while watching it. Is it the best game show out there? No. Is it the worst? No. To me, it's kind of right in the middle. If I'm giving it a rating, I would and keep in mind that the ratings that we kind of talked about a little previously, or some of the previous podcasts that we've talked about, has been a star system from 1 through 5, 5 meaning the best, and 1 meaning the worst. And I guess 0 would be the worst. But in this case, I would give this a 3. It's just to me right in the middle of the road. I will watch it. Am I going to seek it? Maybe not, but if it's on, I will watch it. And I would go back and stream and watch it. All right, Brandon, your thoughts?
Yeah, I would fully agree with you with a free. And so a little bit of background for me is that I don't watch as many, game shows per se. However, this one didn't bother me. And I think I have to attribute that in part to the half hour format of it. That to me, an hour for a game show is just very long and drawn out. But to me, this is a quick half hour. I believe we finished the first 2 episodes, and we didn't even fully realize that we had finished just 2 episodes and not one.
Yes, yes. And I will agree with that, Brandon. I will say one thing I really liked about this was actually the last question. And I don't know if this has changed from the previous times in which Hollywood Squares came on, but the final question in regards to how they actually get the $25,000 is really just a true or false with, did this happen with this particular celebrity, yes or no? Or is this true or false about this particular celebrity? And so that I found interesting because it really is just a true guess for the contestants, for the contestants, unless they happen to know this little trivia about these particular celebrities. But I think it's a fair way to win. It really is just fair. You have 9 shots. And then at the end, one person does have a $25,000 card that they do show. But I like that. It's just, to me, it's just a fair way to win. Brandon, what are your thoughts about the final question, or the final
Yeah,
way that you could actually win?
to me that was my favorite part. In all honesty, just because I feel like it's very genuine. You get a little bit playful. You get to learn more about these celebrities because again, we're not really in tune with a lot of who these celebrities are per se, because our TV viewing, as you've seen for this channel, is very niche, and um, so it's nice to sort of see a little bit more about them, see their personalities, and get true interaction from the guest contestants.
Yes. And Brandon, what streaming service did we find this on?
So this show is airing on CBS every week, and you can also find it the next day on Paramount Plus.
Alrighty. All right, Brandon, anything else you'd like to add?
I just wanted to make a quick note and say that I did like that the first episode of this revival did acknowledge the legacy of the original host, Peter Marshall. And so I'm glad. I always like it whenever shows show that continuity and show and acknowledge the previous versions of said show. So I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, actually, I was very happy to see that also. And we were both surprised, not so much as the verbal acknowledgement, because that didn't surprise me as much, but I think the fact that they went ahead and they showed his picture also, I thought that was very nice for them to do that.
Yeah, not only that, but they didn't leave it towards the end. They actually put it, I believe, right during the where the commercial break would have been.
Yes, they sure did. They sure did. All right. Guys, it would be interesting to see. Are you guys watching Hollywood Squares? If so, let us know in the comments. All right. Thank you guys for watching us today.
Yes, and I definitely hope that you continue tuning in and have a wonderful day.
Yes. Have a great day, everybody.
And we'll see you next time.
All right. Bye bye.